Yeah, and just to be clear, the most respected Israeli sources are now confirming that we've reached a famine situation in Gaza. So that's not, I think, no reasonable person, I think, is disputing that. What happened here is that in March, the Netanyahu government in Israel imposed a total blockade on food aid going into Gaza through the United Nations, through international relief and rescue organizations, which had been running about 400 feeding stations across the territory to feed about 2 million people. And those 400 or so feeding stations were replaced by basically four giant soup kitchens run by this mercenary outfit called the Gaza Humanitarian Organization that had no experience doing this. They were heavily militarized. All the experts warned that it would bring catastrophe. And in fact, 2 million people feeding through four militarized feeding stations meant that there was chaos and confusion, people rushing forward, Israeli troops panicking and firing into those crowds. Hundreds of people were killed, and people were not being adequately fed, particularly children who were the most vulnerable. And why did they do this? A couple of reasons. Number one, they said, well, Hamas was stealing the UN aid, which has been disputed now. Apparently, the IDF, the Israeli military, even now admits that may not have been happening at a large scale. But even if it had been, like the bottom line here is you cannot, there is no way to feed 2 million civilians in a war zone where there are men with guns circulating around those civilians and preventing the men with guns from getting their share of the food. The men with guns will always get their share of the food. But if you restrict food, as Israel has done, the price of the food goes way up. And the men with guns have an even greater incentive to steal it because then they can sell it. And so, in fact, it is these restrictions on food that have empowered Hamas to profit from aid to the extent that they have.